Go.
Okay, so today is aging, which I told you I'm really good at so far. And I know that a couple of you are with me
We're
on
good.
that. Um, it's, I am going to talk only about physical aging because as you all know, we're a big being and we have mental aging and we have emotional aging and physical aging. I'm only talking about physical, even though it's all mixed together, right? So, um, and I'm only going to talk about three things about it. First one is alignment. Why bother doing anything if somebody is slouched? It's not going to help them if they have any forward head or they're slouched forward, they're going to end up falling. And it's something that those of us who are old do. We fall. And I believe one of the reasons is that we're not lined up. If we can get ourselves aligned and look straight ahead instead of down, we won't be falling as much. So I think alignment is important for that. I know because I've read all this research that if somebody's got forward head, they start to choke. They can't get the food down and it gets stuck there. So we need to get lined up here. And I'm talking about the head today, but I think maybe I'll make a video on what I use for alignment because we start with the head and move down. And the thing I did want to show you is some of you have done this with me before. I have people put their finger on their chin, on the front of it, not, well, on the top chin in my case, um, on the front of it, and then pull their head back there so that it stretches out the back of the neck and pulls your head back so it feels uncomfortable. And we do that several times because each time, and then we rest. So I have them inhale, pull back, and exhale and relax. And then inhale and pull back and exhale and relax. What I found, the reason we do the exhale and relax is because of my mistake. I found that if I didn't have them relax, pain levels increased. So we need to have that relaxation between each one. But I can have people do it three times pulling back and relaxing, and their alignment is better. So I try really hard for this part because not only do we choke, but then we don't get, when you're slouched forward, you're not getting the air. Your lungs are compressed and they need to be open for you to get the air because that air has to feed your brain and it has to feed your muscles and it has to feed your organs. And if you're not getting the air, none of that's going to happen. And so you'll see people who can barely walk across the uh, hallway. And it's not often because they don't have the muscles, it's because they're not feeding the muscles. So we need to get that alignment, first of all. That's one of three things that I think is important. The second one is walking. If you can't walk, whether it's from your couch to the bedroom or your couch to the kitchen, I do that a lot, or your house to the car. If you can't walk, you can't live alone. You can't live independently. You're going to have a caregiver. So we need to be able to walk. It's a basic skill. And I get people in the pool and they tend to jog because jogging is really easier than walking. I want that heel strike. I want the plantar flexion going on. I want the anterior tibs engaging. And then I want them to roll and push off with the toes. I want them to be able to get that. If we have to slow it down, fine. If we go faster, fine. But I want it to be a walk, not a jog, because walk is so functional. It's something we need in our everyday life. Once people have it and they're getting the idea of just walking, then I'll have them walking, imagining they have a bag over their shoulder, because that's what we do, right? We have a bag over one side, and now we're asymmetrical, and we have to offset that. And then I have them walk and pretend they're talking to a friend next to them as they're walking. because we do that too. And we walk and we look behind us to see if there's a bike coming up the bike path behind us or something like that. And we walk and we look up at the birds in the tree. And we look down, but we shouldn't be looking down all the time. We need that, basically the horizontal gaze. We need to be looking straight ahead when we're walking. Yes, we check underneath us, but we have to come back to straight ahead. Otherwise, we start looking down. So walking backwards, the entire posterior chain is weak. Our extensors are weak. We're good at flexing. We're good at the hip flexing. We're good at the elbows, the flexing at the waist. We're good at hunching, but walking backwards strengthens all the muscles on the back of the body. And we need that. So we need to walk forward for function, but we need to walk backwards for balance in life. So walking, alignment first. Don't even bother walking if alignment is poor, because you're just going to create a problem in another part of the body, whether it's pain or an injury or something like that. Then the third one is sit to stand skills. And in therapy, it's called sit to stand. Those of you who are therapists know what I'm talking about. For the rest of us, it's getting up from a squat. Can we get out of a chair by ourselves? Because this is also, if you can't do that, you can't live independently. You have to have a caregiver. You have to have somebody who's going to get you off the toilet, who's going to get you out of bed, who's going to get you off the couch, off the kitchen chair, out of the car. We need to be able to do that. And sit to stand skills are kind of, they're hard to work if you're working in the pool, because you do a squat. For a girl like me, because I'm kind of buoyant, my buoyancy has been improving, by the way. And you know that buoyancy is fat. Okay, so I can go down, that's a little bit hard. Coming up is easy because my body is buoyant. So I use the heavy concept, and I use it on land too. It's just imagining that I tell people they have tubing over this shoulder anchored to the floor, tubing strapped over this shoulder, front and back, anchored to the floor. And they're trying to get up and trying to get up and trying to get up. And if they can't get up, then the deep tissue muscles contract. If we're moving from the outside in, when we get out of a chair, we're going to use the arms and push ourselves up, or we're going to use the desk or table and push ourselves up, or we're going to put our hands on our thighs and push ourselves up, or we're going to find another way to help ourselves get up, or we're going to lean forward so far we're going to face plant, because we cannot get straight up. We need to be able to get out of that chair. And as soon as we lose that skill, we're in an assisted living facility. So getting out of the chair, I use the heavy concept, imagining that they can't do it. Thank you. And I also have them play with different foot positions, because think of it, when you get off the couch, if there's a kid, or in my case this week, or a pet sitting between your legs on the floor, you get up in a wide stance. Otherwise, try a narrow stance, or try a staggered stance, or try one-footed stance. Keep getting up out of that chair in different ways, and stop pushing and using your arms until you need to. Okay, I'm done talking about aging. Now you guys get to. You don't know what I have in this, do you? This is my morning wine.
I thought maybe it was a Bloody Mary.
Oh, I can picture it as anything I want.
Right.
Okay, comments, questions. I know all of you know about this stuff. What are you using? What are you trying?
Well, I know that the walking instead of jogging is so important, because when I do go over to the pool we have here, I see a lot of people doing their little jog. And the uncertified people that they have teaching now, basically they're doing all the crazy shit that you would see years ago on videos, because they haven't bothered to join anything or get certified or anything like that. So I kind of shudder whenever I walk past the window and see them with handbars out here and down. And it's
Right.
whatever.
So do you agree that we need alignment first?
Oh, yeah.
And I truly think walking and getting up from a chair or toilet, as I said, or bed. Yes, Canela.
I'm so excited. I started teaching at an assisted living, aquatics, and the abilities, one lady's in a electric chair. I asked her if she walks. She says mostly in her room, but she does on her toes. So I'm working with her to, do a heel toe and walk. And it's like I want to ask her, when did that start? But I have to figure out a diplomatic way to ask it. It's just like, it makes me grateful for my abilities to what degree they are, but it's like the alignment, and then start walking. So these times with you are just with everyone assisting me. And I do walk backwards. I have them walk backwards. I walk backwards a lot, and I look behind me. Your voice is in my head in a good way.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. It's in Bud's head too. You guys can get together. So Lori, with Jen, does Jen walk at all? Lori's daughter is in a wheelchair.
Well, she's walking with the walker at home.
Wow.
Yes, and she is able to transfer from the walker to the bed and to the toilet and all that. She's able to do that and dress herself and everything. Yeah, I do when she cooperates, I do that neck exercise you showed. We call it the chin tuck.
Uh-huh.
And do the stretching because she slouches forward with the neck, and I see that if she doesn't do that exercise, then the neck is so forward, and sometimes she's choking as she's drinking water, or even just if she doesn't chew food properly, then she swallows it. And I always tell her, remember the chin tuck, even if you're sitting and watching TV or whatever, I'm driving or whatever, you have to do that. So, she doesn't like the nagging, but I have to sometimes.
Someone has to nag.
Yeah.
My sister Ann said since I talked to her, she doesn't look down at her phone. She puts her phone up here so she's not slouching.
Yeah, it makes a big difference. Even I try to remind myself, if I'm on the phone, not to do that. And because I had neck injury years ago, and I had to do a lot of stretches and the chin tuck and all that stuff. Yeah, so I have to keep up with it too myself if I don't want to get to steroids or surgery. So I know the stretching and everything helped me. So I agree with all you said, the alignment and the walking, especially, watching the heel to toe. It's so important.
Yeah, here I am preaching to the choir. My dad used to say that.
Yeah.
Bon.
Exactly what you're saying. I was like, is she in my head? This must be all the stuff I've learned over the years. It's just, yeah, I've been saying that. Yeah. As my husband started to get worse, and I was talking to him about, all right, stand and look side to side, watching him not be able to do that while he was walking. But the stuff about standing tall, I tell everybody that you can't stand and walk it and progress if you're not in alignment. And like you said, you're causing more pain, more injury somewhere else.
Right.
If you don't. Yeah, I have a friend who has a bad knee, and I keep telling her squats are your best friend. Oh, I can't do a squat. Well, you sit on the toilet, don't you? She goes, oh no, I do this, like, well, let's try.
This is why I made, some of I have a Take It Back series, because our bodies always find the easiest way
They
to do
do.
things.
They do.
And we have to take it back. You know, all of us have found ourselves, you should see me with the grocery cart.
Oh, no.
And I'm always there. Oh, okay, take
Yeah.
it back, just push and stand up tall. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've got to take those skills back or they're gone forever.
I know when I was trying to help people learn how to walk again, I was talking to a 70-year-old lady and she said, I've been walking all my life. I don't need you to tell me how to walk again. I'm like, sorry, you're wrong. You do need to learn how to walk right again. Yeah.
Now, where I live, basically so many people have walkers. It's a independent living community. And the therapists who give them the walkers, number one, put the walkers too low. So
Yeah.
people are leaning into the walkers and they're looking down and they're looking this way. They're not looking up.
Yeah.
And one guy that lives in my building, he has one of the stand-up walkers that he's actually standing up and holding on to. The problem with those is if he leans too much one way, I don't think it has a big enough base.
Oh,
But and then I have some people, they just lean completely down on the walker
They
and
do.
walk.
Elbows on
And
everything.
yeah, yeah. And so I think the therapists are not doing the right thing because I've asked them a couple times, shouldn't that walker be hired? It's like, oh no, they have a bad back or they've had surgery or whatever. And it's like,
or they're
they're
gonna have
standing
a
up
bad
straight.
back.
Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. But such is life.
So Nicole, you must see a lot of aging in the Detroit area. And are there other things that you do specifically for them?
Yes. Well, I use the heavy concept, but the other thing I like to do is something I learned from Marianne Haggerty years ago at ATRI was breaking down a run. So breaking down gait and so just doing like a heel pattern or a heel walking first, toe walking, then a heel toe, and then a heel toe, you know, to full extension up. And it's really interesting as because you're having me think on this again because at my primary location, when I took over that location, they were in a world of shock and they had horrible posture. They really did, and they were not moving very well. But now they're moving so good and they're advancing beyond. When anybody new comes in, you can really see, you know, that they are new. So I'm thinking on this because this week I'm actually going to be starting in my mom's apartment complex, which is more like a senior complex.
Mhm.
So you're having me rethink some of these things again. But you know, it's like I have to tell them like chariots of fire. Slow is good. Very slow. Let's use that.
Emotion, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fire.
Yeah.
It's
And
a
my mom
fun-
is actually listening to this. This is really, really cute because she has a walker as well, and she's kind of using the prompts that you guys are talking about. But she said the reason why we look on the ground is because we're checking the terrain to make sure it's safe.
Right.
Yeah.
And everything I read says you look down, you see if there are cracks coming up, and then you are aware that they're there. So think about it. Don't just walk and miss that. Don't be aware and walk to cover it. Now, if it's not safe, don't do it. But it just scares me that everybody's giving things away. Well, here's my air. You can take it.
But
Yeah.
that's why it's important, like you said, to be looking side to side, you know, because you got to train your eyes too with movement.
Oh.
Yeah.
I tell
And
people
some
to look like 6 feet ahead. You know, you want to look at the ground, look 6 feet ahead. It's not going to change by the time you get there.
Oh, good.
You know, it's like over there instead of down there.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, my younger brother had a stroke, very mild, but he went for therapy and everything. And he said his therapist told him, when you're walking, be a bobblehead. Like look around, look up and down, see things. And if you see something coming close, then look down, step over it, but keep walking and keep looking around. Be a bobblehead. So I've told a number of people that, and they just look at me like, oh yeah, she's got a screw loose again. So it's par for the course.
Oh, well, I like it.
Yeah, yeah, it works.
Yeah.
It works.
Mhm.
So I just want to say again, because I've been working on this book about vibration and vibratory patterns, we are not just physical beings, and I can tell all of you already know that. So this may be three physical things, but we also have to have that mental awareness and that emotional peace. And I think that if we don't start putting the entire package together, we're still not going to help people. So we need to work on alignment, but somehow maybe during the exhalation, just, I don't know. I'll let you know when my book's out. It's at the layout now, so we'll see.
Good.
But yeah, we need all aspects. And I thought I've got to just narrow this down to the tightest little part. And to me, these are the three vital things
Yeah.
physically. So yes.
Question, because I heard this a lot recently about humming and the vibration and the bagel, and is that part of what you're reading? Is that
Oh.
included?
Yes, I've got a section on things we can do, and one of them is humming, which is very much like praying, which is very much like chanting, which is meditation. And I mean, the depth of our food has vibration. The whatever you're watching on, whatever device you're using is vibrating. Whatever that device is sitting on is vibrating, and animals understand vibration differently from us. It just pulled me in. So yes, it's the humming is great for us. And I've talked before about different frequencies and different amplitudes, which is why I made that willy-nilly shake it out video, because shaking is a vibration and it can assist the body in gaining homeostasis and getting blood flow there and making it part of the body again. So the vibration in nature, it got so big when I started reading about it for myself that I had to write a book. Because some of us are crazy. Okay, are we set? And next week is about pain.
Great.
I'll figure that out after the grandkids.
Yeah.
Jane, did you want to say something first?
Yeah, so I use a vibration platform that is awesome. It was one of our things we got during the pandemic. And so we, can continue spending money we didn't need to spend. But anyway, yeah, it also really relaxes all your muscles, so you can just, because we all have contractions we don't need
Right.
to do, and that's one reason we have a lot of issues moving around and a lot of back issues. And this vibration platform, you just feel wonderful when
Right.
you come off.
They are great.
So,
But any kind of vibration, well, most vibrations are good for us. Sometimes we put out some bad vibrations, but
well, right.
yeah.
And that's very Eastern thought. So, when you're doing all the yoga and Tai Chi and I Chi, you're doing more vibrations, but we're all vibrating all the time.
Always. until we stop vibrating.
Yeah.
I've read that vibration
Yeah.
is our soul, that's our divine inside of us. I just keep reading. So, okay, so we got off aging, we got onto vibration, but we're set with aging. And I know this was very light and we didn't dig deep, but that's the purpose.
All good.
Good. Thank you very much then.
Thank you.
Heading
you.
back to try to get a nap before
Oh.
the grandchildren come home. Hope it works. I love you.
Love
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a good one.
Have a nice